The first pattern we are going to go over is the Gartley pattern, and you know you found it when you have a 0.618 retracement. The highest wick of the retracement is the B point, and with the Fibonacci tool from anchor X point to A point, the candles must add up to the retracement at least to the 0.618 Fibonacci level. This pattern is a bad boy. And I only say that because this is a complex one. And you, just like I, will develop a love hate relationship with it. The B point, it's the 0.618 retracement from the X to the A using the regular Fibonacci's. I say it's complex because it's worked so many times, and the difficult part with it is that this pattern has an entry zone rather than an exact Fibonacci number. If you've been practicing with the Fibonacci tool, you'll quickly realize that when you select the Fib tool and you click for the first time, that will be your anchor. That value will be 1 or 100%. Your first placement with your tool is your X anchor point. And while you're dragging it to the opposite side to release it, this placement will always be the A anchor point or the 0, either a high or a low. It doesn't matter which way you start. Let's zoom into the 30-minute chart and use these anchor points that we marked out in the video before this. So we have the high, which will be our X point, and the low, which will be our A point. Our next step is to measure this retracement from X to A. So I get the Fib tool and click at the tip of the wick of the candle and drag it to the most lowest point of the wick on the chart. Immediately, I can recognize that price retraced as high as the 0.618 Fibonacci level. I'll highlight the number. This retracement gives us anchor point B. Now, while price is actually retracing in real time, it can keep going as far past the 0.618 level. It can even come up to the 0.786 level and wick it. If the candles are closing on or above the 0.786 Fibonacci level, the Gartley pattern is invalidated. The correct mindset to have while trading with harmonics is that the patterns are built with building blocks. You must gather the required anchor points to execute. So, starting with block 1, your Fibonacci from point X to point A, it must give a retracement of the 0.618 for the B point, and that job is complete. We found it here on gold. The next block is finding the C anchor point. And to do that, next, we have to take another Fibonacci tool and we take it from anchor point A to point B to get C's leg retracement measurement. The rule of the Gartley pattern for the C point is that there must be a 50% minimum retracement. There's the 50% minimum retracement that we needed. The lowest point of this wick is going to be our C anchor point. So once again, the rule of C is that price cannot close on, and since we find both bullish and bearish Gartleys, price cannot close above or below the A level. What I mean by that is that if there was an imaginary line below the wick of this A anchor point, the C points candle body cannot be on the A level or below it, or the whole thing is invalidated. So the candle of point C can wick the A points Fibonacci level and still be valid. Moving on. So now that we have gathered the points X, A, B, and C using these legs so far, here is leg 1, which is X to A, leg 2, which is A and B, leg 3, which is from B to C. And now we need the final piece to this pattern so that we can truly say we have a Gartley pattern on our hands. We need the D anchor point, and it's the most important one. Your entry of the trade position rests on the D's anchor point. To find the D anchor point, you must use the Fibonacci tool from our previously marked out X high and low points for the Gartley. And remember, this one has an entry zone. So the first part of this zone is constructed by using the regular Fibonacci tool from X to A, and the entry point is the 0.786 Fibonacci level. And the second part is the 1.272 Fibonacci retracement level using the Fibonacci extension tool from points A, B, and back to A to reveal where the correct 1.272 level lies. In between these two levels is the entry zone. Sometimes the zone is small and tight, or sometimes it's large. Remember, you don't have to trade the Gartley every time that you see it. Make your best judgment. Now, when we put the Fibonacci tools away and we use our XABCD pattern drawing tool and we connect all of the anchor points that we came up with, what we have is the beautiful Gartley pattern. The stop loss for any Gartley pattern is going to be the 1.13 Fibonacci level using the tool from point X to point A. The 1.13 is a true invalidation level. So the entry is between the 0.786 and 1.272 fib level. To finish up on this pattern, we now need to know when to get out for profit. And take profit 1 is the end of the trade. Take profit 1 is on the 0.382 Fibonacci level, and it's given to you by taking your regular Fibonacci tool from point C to the highest wick of the D anchor point. Take profit 2 is the 0.50% Fibonacci level from C to D. Anything after TP2 is being greedy because the 0.618 level is coming up next. This Gartley pattern trade setup on April 28th, 2025 hit TP2 for over 400 pips. This one trade alone could have changed a life. These are powerful patterns. Just how this is a bearish Gartley, they can also be bullish Gartley patterns too. I'll just flip this chart and adjust some signs. This is the first of many. Let's move on to our next pattern.